Hello and welcome again. My name is Vardhan Singh. You're watching MSTV, and I have with me the ambassador of Liberland to Germany with us. And the special and specific, and what makes this whole interview different is because they're with us in India, and it's her very first visit. And she is the press secretary to the Globe as from the government of Liberland. And what makes it different is Liberland, the idea of Liberland. To talk about it, we have with us Miss Samuela Davidova. So let's go to her and talk to her about her idea of Liberland, the idea of Liberland, and how she can pass that idea to us as Indians or as any other citizen of any other country on the face of earth so that we can understand and relate with it. Hello and welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here in India. Amazing people, amazing food, great hospitality. Me, my colleague from the Emirates, my colleague here who represents us in India, but especially Mr. President Vidilichka, we are so pleased to be coming here. It was also President's first time, and he is so excited to be here, and I'm sure that he will be back. Yeah, thank you.
No, actually, the students were there. Those who attended the whole event, they really wanted to spend some more time with the president because it's this place only which allows the student to actually interact directly with someone who actually holds this much of importance as a president of a country. They really wanted to talk to him. So as like you loved India, did you learn something from India like Namaste or anything? Did you learned it?
Oh yes,
In the
yes,
Namaste.
namaste.
That's really nice.
Yesterday we got these orange flowers to be welcomed
Marigold.
here as a guest. It was so beautiful, yeah. And we tasted a lot of food, but sadly, as I said off the camera, I wasn't really reading the titles. I was just trying every vegetarian meal that was available, and it was very tasty. The president also enjoyed some nice soups here because
That's really nice. So let's just start the conversation from here only. Vegetarian, non-vegetarian, vegan, keto, different sort of diets. And there is a big debate going on in the rest of the world for this particular thing. Some are in the support of veganism. Some are like, okay, we have our own diet, we have our own way of eating things. What's the idea of Liberland in this? How exactly do we approach it? I mean, is it a free thing, or do we have any sort of this thing out there as well?
Thank you for asking me. You know, Liberland was founded on the idea of liberty, and so we don't believe that government should be telling people what they should eat or how they should produce something. So, if you actually come to the region, to Liberland, it lays between Serbia and Croatia, and we love to celebrate local cultural traditions. So, there are actually cultural events every day. Especially for the weekends, we are preparing some great culinary events. Not only in Liberland, but we also have a diaspora village very close to Liberland, and it's called Ark. It's located in Serbia.
Okay.
This is where we were celebrating our annual festival and anniversary when we didn't have the direct access to the territory itself. To Liberland, it was just still secured by Croatian police. And now for the past 2 months, we already have the access. But getting back to the culture and to food in Liberland, so we were making some great culinary shows and events and fishing competition, etc. Either now in Liberland or in Ark, in our diaspora village, and it was attended by locals. Now also recently we were making a nice celebration in our Prague representative office with a Croatian band, and also we made there some Serbian and Croatian food because we love the region, we love Balkans, we love the people there as well, so we love to celebrate also their culture, and we are building our own Liberland culture, which is, you know, since it unifies people from all around the world, so we do not really judge based on nation. We love to invite all the humans. And myself, when I was coming to Ark in Serbia last year, so there were some nice Mexican and American people cooking their food there on the festival, and it was very lovely. So we really don't judge people based on
That's
their
nice. That's nice.
preferences or based on their nationality. We are just welcoming everyone who is pro-liberty, who is pro-freedom, and who wants to join us and our community.
That's really nice. You talked about, Your Excellency, building the culture. At the same time, I saw, when I was going through the website, I saw a picture about the infrastructure development that we are looking forward to achieve. So what's the roadmap? It looks really nice. It seems that it's an AI generated sort of a thing. It's like too good to be true sometimes, because the land we have and the kind of construction, the kind of infrastructure we are believing. So what's the roadmap to it? How exactly are you planning for it?
Thank you so much for your question. So Liberland started in 2015. And despite the territory itself is not claimed by neither Croatia or Serbia, we have done a lot of research on this, and we have a lot of legal paperwork done to really prove, to be able to prove that on all the maps and all the listings. This territory is a terra nullius. It means that this country, this land, 7 kilometers square, they don't belong to any of the countries. And so this is how we could actually claim it. We are pursuing this non-aggression principle. We do not want to have any problems. We do not want to initiate any conflicts. That's not in our
disputes
interest.
Or something.
And we are happy that we found this amazing territory. There are some beautiful sand beaches, right? But despite this fact, we still had some troubles with the Croatian police. And the Croatian police was actually guarding the land, securing the land, despite it's not their territory. So we actually had a security for free, and we'll love to thank to the Croatian police for serving us like this, so that nothing would happen to the territory, right? But of course, it complicated our settling. It complicated the construction. This is why we purchased this land in Serbia, Ark, and we started. We have our own cabins there. We have there a building where is held our annual conference and festival. It's a really great cultural event, so you are totally welcome to come. The festival is held in August, the anniversary in April. And so we were focusing on ARC, while also we were improving our diplomatic relations over the world. For this year anniversary, in April, there was a guy called Nico. You can find him Niko on YouTube. And he decided that he would love to get to Liberland, and put the flag on the territory on the Liberty Island. It's like a sandy.
Who's he? Who's this person?
He's a YouTuber who has a few millions of followers on YouTube. And so he arrived to Liberland, and we were like, oh, he arrived to ARC to the anniversary, and he decided to get to Liberland. You can watch a very nice 30-minute video of him trying to get to the land. He tried different areas from different angles, and at first he wasn't successful. The Croatian police was making him troubles and so on. But in the end, he succeeded, and he put the flag on the Liberty Island, but he was sadly mistreated by the Croatian police, despite they do not have any right to be on the territory or to sort of like harm anyone, right? And they took away his footage from him, and you can actually watch all this on the video on YouTube. Because we also had our drones that were coming from the Serbian territory, and so we have all the footage of what happened over there. But this video, it was out some 2.5 months ago, and it got more than 8 million views. And so of course it attracted a lot of attention from the side of the world. Of course, it got us actually a lot of popularity, and it improved our diplomatic relations, and it opened us the doors, and it opened us much more support from other countries. And from other people who started signing up and wanted to support us, wanted to buy our e-residency. So We welcomed a few dozens of thousands of new people among people who are registered into our network on our website, liberaland.org.
Your Excellency, I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but how many residents we have right now at Liberland?
Okay, we have more than 730,000 people registered
Pardon?
on our website.
Okay.
We have, but because like not everyone is meeting the requirements, like you have to fill out the information and you have to contribute in certain way to the country. And so we have some 8,000 e-residents, and we have more than 800 citizens, people with the passport. While currently on the territory of the land, because what happened after this video going out, we had our festival and it got really a big publicity and so on. Also, Croatia joined Schengen area, so they had to define their borders, right? And we were actually good to go to open officially the borders with Croatia. This was 2 months ago. So after 8 years, more than 8 years of waiting and patience and improving our diplomatic relations, we actually got the access to the land.
Okay.
And so we started building only 2 months ago. We have there currently some 20 or 30 people residing on the land creating construction. But a month ago there was a big celebration of President's birthday, and there were some 300 people.
Wow.
Who were coming on the boats or on the bicycles. So this was really exciting. But after successfully building the first houses, we have we had there several wooden houses. We have there our Liberland Marina, where like a port, where we are actually having a house yacht. And some other nice boats for dozens of people, where you can celebrate a marriage, where you can celebrate a birthday party, or you can just stay there. So after that, the Croatian police actually came and they destroyed everything. But we're not giving up, and so it's now 20 days after they destroyed our things. They robbed us. And
Croatian police you're talking about?
Yes, Croatian police robbed us, and they destroyed the houses and all the effort that we created.
Why so? Why exactly they're doing it? Do you have any reason for it?
No, they don't have any legal status to do this.
Okay.
So we're suing them.
So what do you think? Like, what might be the reason behind it?
It doesn't really make any sense. We are bringing the tourism into the area for the past 8 years. We keep improving the diplomatic relations. They do not have any legal right for the territory, so it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, then even they are doing it. They don't have any substantial reason for it, but they're doing it.
Well, they don't. Maybe they don't want our us to be there, but they don't have any right to do so.
Anyways.
Yes, so it doesn't, from the legal perspective, they do not have any. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, right?
Because we had to talk about something else. Let's not go into that. But still, it is really important for me to understand this particular thing, because when we are not harming someone, because that's what Liberland is all about, that we have all the rights until unless you are infringing somebody else's right.
Yeah.
So that's the motto, that's the belief of Liberland.
Yeah.
But at the same time, our rights are being infringed by someone. So that's my idea. Your Excellency, what's your idea about India? Let's say for the very first time you're here.
Yeah.
But you might have heard about it. You might have come across someone from India. Or anything to everything that you might have knew about this place. What's your idea about it?
Thank you. I've been here really for a very short time, but we were discussing it actively with Mr. President that India is a really great country, and it's really full of opportunities, and we hope that Indian people will make use of the opportunities they have, and we will see how we could collaborate, how we could
collaborate in what sense? Like, what are the ways you want to collaborate in terms of business, in terms of movies, because Indian movies, the Bollywood, the Indian film industry, it's one of the biggest on the face of earth. We make the largest number of films, and it is an entire industry in itself, because it gives a handsome amount of money. It generates So like we want to be a part of it, or in what sense we're looking forward to collaborate?
You know, I would say just from a slightly different angle, like Liberland unifies people from all around the world. And what we can help, we have a pretty, you know, a big community.
Okay.
And so we initiate cooperation. We don't want to interfere with the private industry, right? At the same time, we are having some collaborations with businesses.
Okay.
And some interesting ideas, like be it seasteading in the international waters close to Dubai.
Okay.
Like a floating houses. Be it now construction companies who are interested into getting into Liberland and starting their businesses over there, or be it people who want to be part of, let's say, like a network state, and who want to just be interconnected virtually or in the metaverse. So it's really hard to, or I think that Vít, the president, is really good at seeing potential. And this is really inspiring. So I think it's not me who should say how exactly we can cooperate, but he's very good at seeing the potential in people. And be it either the direct cooperation with Liberland, or be it with someone else from the network, from the community of Liberland, I'm sure that there's something that can happen. And it's not just the film industry, it's really like there's a lot of potential in you know all the industries. I think that the capacity, Liberland has a great capacity to interconnect people.
That's really nice, and I guess only time will tell. This again, I'm taking a reference from a movie because it's the name of it. Because by the passage of time, things change, our ideas changes, and our approach might change, which might give us the idea with which we want to go work. That's really nice. At last, you talked about metaverse. You talked about.
Yes.
I saw a picture, an idea of Liberland, really nice infrastructure and everything. I need to understand that. I mean, where this idea came from, how exactly we're looking forward to create Liberland infrastructure specifically. I mean, to develop a community, we need certain things: healthcare, education, very basic. And at the same time, we need restaurants as well to dine in and everything. So, how exactly we're looking forward to achieve that view might have shown on the website only of this metaverse thing.
Yeah, you know, actually, I think here we are getting partly back to the roadmap. And so we started really with
the infrastructural part only I'm talking about.
Yeah, I get it. Like, actually, tomorrow we are restoring the construction because, like after the robbery. So we were now like keeping it a little low profile. Tomorrow we're starting the official cruise between Hungary, Croatia, Serbia, and going back. So we will have a boat transportation, because we had also, like, you know, you have to really, it's a very complex problem, because you need to put together, you need to have enough resources, enough people, enough logistics and transportation, having done legal matters. It's like international water, it's a Danube River, you have Croatia, Serbia, Hungary, very close.
Exactly.
And so it's, you need to have a lot of answers
ready.
yes, before you actually start something. So this is really, this is what actually we were maybe working on for the past 8 years. So it was good that we actually had time for setting all this up. And we're finishing still our legislation, right? Alongside with this, when you mentioned metaverse, so we actually have a metaverse in the place. I don't remember the address, but if you just Google metaverse of Liberland, you will get there. And for this, we were actually making an architectonical competition. And it was won by Zaha Hadid Architects, a very popular architectonical studio. And actually what I love is, or what Vít says, is that, you know, before we can because in metaverse the land is the same size, and so Vít would love to, before we actually start implementing something in reality, we can implement it into the metaverse, right? and see if it really works, if it makes sense, if that will be needed, and so on. However, our citizens, they can actually also this year, they can purchase the land physically. They can start their building. So this is what we were now focusing on partly as well. The idea there, it's like I think that maybe my colleague Arthur was mentioning. It's more like having a Singapore in Europe.
Exactly, he gave the exact example, Singapore of Europe.
Yeah,
that's what
and
he said.
It from the legal perspective, it exactly has the same kind of contributions that it needs to really become it. The idea is like low bureaucracy, economic freedom, and just letting people to do their thing. And if you actually let people do their thing, they do their thing, and so it prospers, and it's like a positive sum game, and everyone will prosper. So this is sort of the idea, and government shouldn't interfere the private sector into doing what they want to do. So we are happy to welcome everyone who doesn't want to harm anyone and who wants to build in Liberland and to make it the freest country in the 21st century.
Great. Your Excellency, the very last question is how exactly one can be a part of Liberland, because as an Indian I cannot have dual citizenship. I have to submit my Indian passport, my Indian citizenship, then only I can get somewhere else. But there are some other countries out there, those who can have dual citizenships. So you have honorary citizenship programs as well, right? What are the ways with which one can actually approach it by keeping India in the center? Because right now you're here only. How one can be a part of Liberland, not just as an honorary citizen, but is there any other scope one can be a part of it?
Yes, sure. Thank you. We welcome every pro-liberty person who loves the idea and who wants to join us. So, of course, you can just search for Liberland on your social media. In the first place, I really recommend registering on liberland.org because then you will be the first, you will get the first-hand information. This is also the way how you can apply for the either e-residency or the citizenship. But just if you register, it doesn't really require you to anything. So, but it's your first place to actually get in touch with us. And why is it important? Because you will, for example, if we are here, or if our representative here to the country is organizing some event or something, so you will be the first one to know. And so you can actually join us, and you can actually make use of the community that is being built here. So I think that really makes sense to. This is like how you can use personally the network of Liberland. But I don't know if you're maybe a developer like in IT, in blockchain, or if you think from what I named or my colleague named, or from what you see some potential, if there's some way you would love to contribute to the country, so you can just text us. There's my colleague Peter who goes through all the emails on info@liberland.org, just the general email, but we really go through it. Or you can text to india@liberland.org and just send us your CV, what you know, how you think we could collaborate, what we could do together, and this way we might think of something that would make sense. So like we're really open.
Exactly.
And I think like this way, because this is also how I started like contributing to Liberland. I became the representative to Georgia, and I organized a lot of meetups. I run my own podcast. I made many interviews in relation to it, and so on. This is how I became. It was a voluntary offer from my side because I wanted to be part of the project. And it's really exciting because it unifies people from all around the world who are pro freedom, and other people who are voluntarily contributing to the country are really, really interesting people. I'm really glad that I can collaborate with them. And of course, look, like it opened me the first-hand doors to many other people who are very interesting all around the world. So I think this is really exciting. I cannot wait for what will, because it's really decentralized in all the ways. So first, you can collaborate on the level of the country, on the representation level. I mean, like you can help your representative in your country, maybe help organizing some meetups or whatever else. You can help with the development on the blockchain side, on the website side, or
contribution part as well is there.
Yeah, or maybe in the future we will be happy to see you also on the physical end, despite like now it's already available. And then there's this metaverse site, and so imagine like and also the community sort of like lives its own life, and we sometimes just find out that someone just organized something without even us knowing, and just wants to unify other people somewhere else. And so this is really exciting to see how Liberlanders are already like connecting together to each other. And we try to be very active in this. We travel the world. We are speaking at the conferences, and we want to connect with other pro-freedom, pro-liberty people all around the globe. And I think we're pretty good at it because, yeah, there are hundreds of thousands of people who are just registered. But there are even, I would say, 10, maybe 100 times more of people who know about the idea, who share the values as well. And they just, haven't registered on our website, but are coming to our meetups and so on.
Right,
so, yeah.
That's really nice. I really enjoyed the whole idea of it. And it's quite fascinating that how easy it is. It's just quite easy. It's quite simple to be a part of Liberland in any way. You don't need to.
Oh, sure, of course.
It's very easy. Just a simple mail and okay, that's it, done. Yeah. That's how one can actually apply for a job. But this time it's not a job. You are voluntarily doing it. So that's really nice. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for being a part of this interview, and at the same time for being so, what should I say, so informative about the country. And I really loved your idea about India as well when we talked about food and everything. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Thank you for having me. Namaste.